Okay guys, so I've got the PVA glue, and this is a baby wipe, and that's what I'm going to put on this area here. I'm going to go ahead and put some PVA glue down. I'm going to use a sponge. I love using these. I let them dry and I cut off what's used, and then I got another one to, it's good to go again. I don't have to go wash a brush because the sink is not very close to my room. So I'm just going to get the glue on every bit of these gussets. That's what I'm looking for, is to get that glue on every bit of the gusset. We're not wanting to soak things. Just there. And it gets better as you as the sponge gets more in it. There we go. There we go. Make sure we're getting every bit. Nothing down the sides though. Don't want anything down the sides. Okay, now I'm going to take this. It's just a really light coat. I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it right on there, all the way down. If I have any left over, I will cut it off later. Make sure that gets down into that glue. And I'm going to put some more down. And just run it back over the top of this. Make sure it kind of gets soaked through. Don't want it hanging over the edge on the sides, really. It's not doing any kind of job over there, so you don't really need to have it over there. And that's it. So I'm going to let that dry. See a little bit right here. And if you need to, I want to get this a little saturated. Doesn't seem like it got real saturated. If you want to put a little bit to get some spots saturated that don't look like they're stuck down real well, then just go right straight from the bottle if you want to. Just as long as you're not getting so much that it's really starting to soak through the paper. Okay. I think that's going to be good. Make sure I'm staying on. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then I can see. There we go. And get a little bit right here on the corner. Okay, so now we're going to let that over on the side to dry. And you can see here that it absorbs way in. Once that dries, I'll cut it off, and then I'll have the whole rest of the sponge to use for something else. Love it. And this is cheesecloth is another thing you can use for that as well, for putting on the spine. So whichever way you want to do it. Okay. Yeah, while we're waiting for our backing to dry, we're going to go ahead and you need to cut whatever you're going to have for your inside front and back cover, I'm using the same paper, and you need a strip. So if you're doing the same size I am, you need 2 at 6.5 by 8.5. Because 8.5 is our text block, which is all of our signatures together. So our text block is 8.5 by 5 3/4. And so that is what we're working with now. We're doing 2 8.5 by 6.5. And then we need 1 at 1 1/4 by 8.5. Okay? We're going to then score each one at 5 3/4. Okay? Obviously, this one is I'm using this as inside front and inside back covers. So you want to make sure if you've got things that are facing the right way and things like that, this one I scored at 3/4 instead of 5 3/4. I think that, yeah. So that's, that's how you want to do that, so that they'll end up being the same, but flipped around so you can read them. And then this piece is going to be what we're going to attach these two to, and then all of this is going to be glued down. So let me show you what we're doing here. Okay, I've got my stuff scored, and I'm going to get some score tape. Now you can do it with glue. No biggie either way. I'm doing mine with score tape, and part of it will be done with glue, but. So I'm just going to, let's see, what am I doing here? I want the same pattern to be facing out. So if when the book opens and closes, they're going to see this pattern versus this pattern, which is no color in my book at all. So, so I'm going to tape these to this. So I'm going to put my, now if you don't care which side shows, not that much of it's going to show anyway, but, and if you're going to put some distress or anything like that, you might want to go ahead and do that now. I haven't really used much distress in this book. I did coffee dye the papers, but not much distress. So I'm not really gonna do anything with that. Okay, and then I'm going to put on the very edge. This is the side with the score mark on it, so I'm just going to put on the very edge here. Okay. Again, you can do this part with just glue. Doesn't matter. Okay, get all these burnished down. Finger, score tool, whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off. Come on. Okay. And this is my back one. Okay. And I'm not really worried about this having up or down. Alright. So, I'm folding this. And let's see. Okay. I'm going to line up one corner. Oh, let me get some of the tape. You can either trim it off or fold it back on itself, some of the tape was over the edge. I'm going to line up a corner. Okay, there's part of it, and line up. I want this right on the edge, so don't get in a hurry and put it down before you're ready. Come on. Okay, I could get my fingers out of there. That would be there. I'm gluing myself down. Okay, let's see. All right. So there's that. Oopsie. Okay, dummy. Yeah, don't take it all the way off, because then you're gonna glue down the back side. And anything that got ripped I can fix. Okay, so I'll fix that part. That's all good. But, so leave one side of it on. Leave one side of your backing, tape backing on, so you don't do that. See? Learn through my mistakes. Oh, sorry. Oh, Lord, I tell you. It's late. I'm getting a little, yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to line up the next corner, make sure that I am got all my words going in the right direction. Going to line up corner. Push it down when you're ready. Okay, and that one wasn't quite, yeah, that's all right. Okay, so now there is your inside, front, and back cover. I'm just got a little hanging off the edge here, so I'm cutting it off. There we go. And I've got a little cut hanging off of this side. So I just got it a smidge crooked, but not too bad. Not too bad. Just going to kind of trim it down so it's not quite so. All right. So there we go. There's that all set up. Now, let's see. Has this dried yet? Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to glue the gusset part, these two, the spine. We're going to glue this spine to this spine. And then this is going to be the part that glues into our book. I haven't covered my book yet because I haven't figured out what I want to do with that, but at least you can get this far, and if you already know what you're doing with your covers, then go for it. Okay, so, and if you wanted to, you could use, not do this, you could use this, put this in your book, and glue this front page inside your book, and there would be like the front and back of your text block. But I didn't really want to do that, mainly because I liked this, and I liked this being my front page. And but if you don't mind, just use this. So you got multiple. I don't even have it straight on the spine, but you get what I mean. You could just put glue all over this and glue it down. Okay? Which is what I really should do, but I don't wanna. That's what you really should do, is that. But I don't wanna. So I'm creating a spine around my spine, and then this is going to be my inside, front, and back cover. And this is going to be my first page. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. But I am going to let this dry 100%. And because it's still a bit tacky, I'm going to let it dry 100%. And then I'm going to think about whether I'm going to do this or not. So you may not see this. You may not see this. Anywho. Alright, so that's it. That's next. This is what you gotta let this completely dry. So don't do anything with it until it is absolutely completely dry, and then you can make the choices whether you want to put another round of glue on, or if you're just going to leave it at that, and we're going to move on to the next scene. Okay? Alrighty. See you guys in a little while. Okay, so I've got my cover here, and it's 5 3/4 by 8 1/2, I think it was. Well, 8 3/4 is this way, by 8 3/4. Okay, I have one piece of paper that I am using. Since this is 5 3/4, a 12 by 12 sheet, as long as you cut it the right way, I can get it on all, you know, all of the outside of the album. So I'm just going to show you really quick. I cut out my page for the front, and I just cut it out just what I needed. And now this is 1 1/4 is about what I need to put on the spine by 8 3/4. So this is my other back piece. I know it's kind of funky, but I thought, you know, if I use ribbon to cover that up, I'm going to be just fine. And I believe this is a cereal box, and sometimes, you know, you're not always squared up on your cereal box. So that's going to be 3/4. That's a little off, but not by much. Okay, so 5 3/4 is what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this big part. Again, I can use this line here, and that should be the height. Yes, and then I just need to do 5 3/4. Oops, cut this one. All right. There we go. So this is my back, this way. Alrighty. Okay, so it's a little, my book, using cereal box, I would say cut out the pieces and do just like you do for a hard book, because when you do a cereal box, they don't square up quite as well. So I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to put this in a little angled. Put my cutter Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. Let me bring it down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm setting this in not straight. I'm setting it in so that there's a little bit of an angle, and I'm cutting off. Let me back you out just a little bit. I'm cutting off part of the top, and then it's going down to straight. And you have to kind of, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to just kind of neaten this little space right here where it transitions. Just going to kind of neaten that up. Now, when you're looking at it on here, you're not going to know that we trimmed it up. So we've got, this fits really nicely up top, and it was too big, and now it's good. Very good, because it was too big. It went from end to end, and there was no little bit of the book showing. So there we go. So that's, you know, you just got to cut it. You got to cut it for what works. And there, now you can see there's a little bit of the edge of the book all the way around. Okay? And so there's my front and back cover. And now I have this left. And I need 1 1/4, and I think I'm going to like this side best. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 1 1/4, a little bit bigger than 1 1/4, so I have something to play with if I need to. Okay, and then I'm going to see, now here is the front cover. I'm not that worried about, and then this is my back cover. Am I too big? No, good. Okay, this is my back cover. So if I did this as my side, it would look totally cool. And I could bring a ribbon around here. And then how's that going to look? And then this is my front. So as long as you're careful about it, you can get, for this size book, 1 sheet will do the entire cover. Doing it this way. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you how I was doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this pasted on. I'm going to be putting eyelets in and doing a tie, and then we'll get the inside in. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I've got my cover, spine, and back cover on. I did get a little bit of rippling from this cover. Apparently wasn't all the way down. So you have to be really careful about that when you put that initial cover on your cereal boxes. Some people don't do it at all, and that's fine. You don't have to. I like to have a couple of multiple covers. It just helps it also feel like it's a little more substantial. But anyway, I wanted to show you there's no streaks. And Deli Girl, I think it's Deli Girl, DELYGIRL 1961. She did a tutorial on how she keeps the streaks off. So I tried it, and I just wanted to show you what I was doing here. So, and this is the same sponge that I used before. I just cut off the hard part, and now I'm using it again. This is my second coating. Trying to keep the glue off of here. This is my second coating on here with Mod Podge. Okay, so basically you get some on your sponge, and you kind of take it, get it all, you know, you want to get it a nice bit of it on there, and then you go back and you pounce it. So now I'm going to take more, and I'm going to
put it here. And I'm going to see if I can get on camera. See, I don't know if I can't see it, but this side is not pounced. And this side is. Just trying to see if I could see streaks versus not. It just makes a much nicer finish to your piece, because who wants to see all those streaks in there? But the first thing would be to get a nice coating on there, and that it's, you know, about the same thickness, and that's pretty much all there is to that. You want to kind of work in smaller groupings, because if you know, I wouldn't want to do the whole page, because you don't want those streaks to dry. If the streaks start drying, you're not going to get them out with pouncing. So that's why you kind of want to work on a smaller area, and you're just pouncing it. You want to make sure you get, you know, every place, so that you getting good, and you can look at it and see where you're missing bits and pieces, because you can definitely see, I don't know if you can, but I can see where I'm missing because it's streaky versus textured. It's really a nice finish on there. Now, some people can do it with a brush and not really have it streak much. I can't. I don't know if I don't have a nice enough brushes, or if I'm just not that talented with the brush. But yeah, I have not been able to use a brush to get this. So I think when in her tutorial she used a sponge brush. I think. I honestly can't remember what tool she used. And right here. So, but that is, again, it was Deli Girl 1961. So you can go check her out. She does a lot of journals, and I think she's even starting to make her own paper line. So she's working on it anyway. Okay, and see, I'll get one more use out of this sponge. I'll let all that dry, it'll cut off, and then I get one more use out of it. Putting glue on for the inside. Okay guys, that was a quick tip. Talk to you later. Bye!